First up, linoleum block printing. You're going to need a student guide, a piece of linoleum, pencils and erasers, and an idea. You can take something that you've got in your hand to use for your idea, or you can find some inspiration online. That's fine. First, what is linoleum? Linoleum is just like the thing that you're standing on right now. The floor under your feet are linoleum floors. They're simply cured a little bit harder so that we can walk on them. It's a combination of linseed oil, pine rosin, ground cork dust, calcium carbonate, a bunch of fun things all mixed together. In the art room here we use something called soft cut. It's very easy for us to cut, and we'll talk about the tools that you need to use for that in just a little bit. But for now we have to figure out how to get a design onto our tile. In our student guide, I've given you a bunch of sections so you can do a lot of different ways, a lot of different practicing of your design. What I do want you to do is, however, I want you to cross out the very last box, just where it says reverse. I found a trick to help you figure out how to reverse your letters. Okay, I would like you to pause the video, come up with two designs, one in a horizontal format, one in a vertical format. They can be the exact same design, just in two different compositional formats. But you're going to pause the video right now. Alright, we're back with a design. I took my little Gormini character here, and I've got two designs. I think the best format for me is going to be in the vertical, so I've transferred them down just one more time to refine it and get them exactly how I like it. During this video, I also want to show you how to work with letters, because there's a little trick when you're printing with letters. If I want to print the word art, I actually have to have my letters cut reversed. The only way that this is going to show up as a letter is if it's reversed in my stamp. And let me show you my example. This is the letter A. If I test it out on a rubber stamp pad and I give it a little test, you're going to see that nope, it is not a letter A. What letter is that? Oh, it's G. Hey, look at that. Well, there's a good reason for testing. That's the letter G. Let's try the R. Gert. Gert. Art is Gert. That's perfect. There you go. You can see the reversal. But the easiest way to transfer that is to your block. Transfer your letters to your block is this way. You're going to draw nice and dark. If you're at the middle school and you want to pull out one of the 3B pencils, that would work really well for this step. Here at Lankerville, I only have the HB pencil, so I'm just going to have to use what I have. When you're ready to transfer your design, you're going to take your linoleum block, hopefully it won't already have a design on it, and you're going to lay it down over the design where you like it. When you flip it over, take care not to misalign it. And then you're going to use the back of your thumb, the back of one of our printmaking tools. You can use the edge of your pencil, but you're going to press that design into your linoleum and it will transfer for you enough that you can see to draw it again. Now, my design is not going to be the letters, but now I showed you how to transfer them. My design is going to be this cute little Gormini, and I've already transferred him to a block. So what I want you to do is pause this video and transfer your design to a block after you have checked in with me. I will look over your design, and I will give you a little initial right here if you are ready to start transferring it. So pause your video, draw your design, and come see me. Okay, I got my design already. I'm going to work a little larger than your sample just so you can see it in the video. Now we have to talk about safety. I am going to give you an in-class demonstration of all of these tools also, just so you can see them up close. These are linoleum block printing cutting tools. They're called gouges, but I simply call them cutting tools. The easiest way to not hurt yourself with these tools is to never have your hand away in the front when you're cutting. You don't want to be cutting toward your hand. You always want to have your hands behind you. Luckily for us, this is soft cut linoleum and it is super easy to cut. Hopefully we will have no problem with anybody stabbing into the side of their hand. The first thing you want to remember with these tools is while they are not super sharp to touch, if you go at with a lot of pressure, then you are going to hurt yourself. They have tiny little scoops. They look like a little spoon. When you're holding your tool, you always want to be looking at the side that looks like a spoon. If you flip it over, you're going to see a number that gives you an idea of what kind of tool it is. We want to be looking at it with a little spoon. There's a U-shaped tool. That's this one. Can you see that on the video? There's a V-shaped tool. And then there's a super small V-shaped tool. I found that these are pretty much useless. They do nothing for me in the way of cutting lines, so I almost never use the tiny one. But you will probably have the most success with your V and U-shaped tools. The V will give you nice tiny lines. The U will take out a large area. Okay, let's talk about the cutting itself. Again, keep your hands away from the block. You don't want to be holding it here and cutting this way. You want to make sure that your hands are always behind where you're cutting. You don't have to press very hard. This is super soft linoleum, and all you're going to do is take off the top surface of that design. What you cut away is up to you. You may decide that in your final print, you want this little guy to be the color. So if this guy is going to be printed in, let's say, blue, then I need to remove all of the area behind it so that the only thing that shows up is my little guy. If I want the little guy to be outlined in a color, and he's going to just be whatever color the paper is, then you're going to cut away all of the inside. Your design choice is up to you. For me, I want to print my little guy. I want him to be the focus, so I'm going to remove the material behind him. I'm going to start with the I'm going to start with the V, and I'm going to go around the edges of my design so I get a nice, clean, sharp cut. When you have decided which area you're going to cut, then I would like you to pause the video and move on to the printing step. Let me show you a little bit of the U-shaped tool before I end, so you can see that it does take away a larger section behind what you're working on. Can you see that from the video? All right.